Hello and welcome to the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. I'm Matt Mercer, instructor for the Pathfinder School and the founder of the Black Cat Bushcraft channel right here on YouTube. And this afternoon I've come out to do some trail riding on our family's land once again. And today, instead of bringing my ATV, I'm actually borrowing my cousin's Kawasaki Mule, which is a lot of fun for me. I don't have a side-by-side, and it's always fun when I get a chance to drive one around. And the other advantage of a side-by-side, of course, is conveyance. It's giving me this big bed that I can fill up with a lot of gear and a lot of ingredients to make a delicious recipe this afternoon. And of course, if I'm out in the woods cooking up a delicious new recipe, that means somebody, one of you guys, most likely, will be winning a free care package from Reliance Outfitters with all of the Pathfinder outdoor cooking gear that I use for the show today. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to some good food and announcing today's winner. We're going to get started on all of that right here in just a minute. Stick with me. All right, so I think I've gotten all my gear situated and I'm ready to start cooking up a delicious lunch. And I have to tell you guys, this is a recipe I've been sitting on for a little while. As soon as I read the recipe submission, I knew it was one that I was going to use. I've just been waiting for the right time, and I think that's today. It just sounds good to me. And I have to also tell you guys that this is the most simple recipe that's ever been sent to me as far as instructions go. Normally people give me a lot of detailed instructions and they mention like what pot or pan or whatever that they use to prepare this, and this is just a list of ingredients. And the author of the recipe sent me a line at the end that said, pan fry all ingredients in butter or pork fat and fill your belly up right. So again, pretty simple, straightforward recipe. Quite a few ingredients in it, but it sounds delicious. There's no title, so I'm going to call this one Sweet Potato Sausage Surprise. And you'll see, of course, all the ingredients here in just a few minutes. But our winner for today, for his submission of this recipe, is Tim Zim. Congratulations, Tim. I appreciate you sending this recipe in, and I hope you'll enjoy your gear that's going to come to you from Reliance Outfitters after this video is posted. And I'm looking forward to this one. So I hope you guys will stick with me, and let's get started on Sweet Potato Sausage Surprise. All right, so our main kit that we'll be using to cook in today is the Pathfinder 10-inch stainless steel skillet. And this one, of course, you've seen me use before on the show. And inside my skillet, I have some other gear that we're going to be using. I have some seasonings in here, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And I have the new Pathfinder Stainless Steel camp tongs. These are really well made. A lot of times when you buy these types of tongs, they're more flimsy. These are solid stainless steel, very well made. I really like the pot hook that they put here so you can lift your pot off the fire if the bail is hot. This gives you something to grab with. So these are going to be great for cooking. And I have the stainless steel folding spatula. And I really like this thing. Just folds into place like this and gives you a nice spatula around camp. Again, we have that little pot hook there that we can use to lift things off the fire. Just an awesome little tool for cooking around camp. All right, and I have my stainless steel utensil set. And of course, my MVP here on the show, the Pathfinder stainless steel plate, which you've seen me use many, many times. So that's really all the gear I need other than my stove. We'll be cooking on the ISO Pro stove. And I think I'm ready to get started. Let's get some food out, let's get some stuff processed, and we're going to be cooking here in just a second. All right, so we have several things that we need to process down here. We've got the apples, we've got green pepper, we've got the sweet potato, and we have carrots. And I'm going to start with the carrots because they require the least amount of processing. And these are already semi-cut up. And so what I'm going to do is just use my knife to kind of break those down a little bit. Hopefully help them cook up a little faster. When I bought these carrots, I went ahead and bought some that were kind of cut up already. Hopefully make my job a little easier. Anytime you're cooking out in the woods, it's always good if you can to buy things that are pre-processed or pre-process them at home in your kitchen and pack them in such a way that it makes it easy for you to cook in camp. So I'm a big fan of making camp life easy as much as you can if you can pre-prep things. All right, so we've got our carrots. Let's work on our apple. I have two different types of apples here. I have a yellow apple and I have a red apple. And we're going to go half and half. And I guess the best way to do this is maybe just thin slice. And I know that apple is going to become my next sample because that stuff just looks delicious. And of course we need to cut up our red apple here. And the main reason I did this was just to give me some color contrast. I thought it would be pretty to have red and the green in my dish. Let's just slice up some of this red apple here. And I think what I'll do is go ahead and just half all of these. Alright, so we'll go ahead and cut up our green pepper here. That core out. And just cut this guy in half right here. I'm going to cut this pepper up just a little bit more fine. Sometimes I like to cut it up into big squares. Sometimes I will keep it in strips like this, but today I'm going to dice this. Just get it a little bit finer for the dish. There we go. I think that's actually going to be enough, so I'm going to save the other half of that. We'll dump that in, and the only thing I got left, I think, to go with is this sweet potato. So we'll get started on that. So I'm going to slice this sweet potato up pretty thin, kind of like if we were making sweet potato chips. I think that'll help the cook time a good bit. Raw sweet potato can take a while to cook, so hopefully this will make it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is just stack those up. We'll cut them up into little strips like that. So our last main ingredient to go into this recipe is just some patty style sage sausage. And of course we're going to use plenty of butter to cook that up in. We've got some spices to add in the mix that are going to really add some flavor. But other than that, that's what our meal consists of. And I'm ready to fire up the stove and start cooking. Let's do it. So I think what I'm going to do is just half this roll of sausage. I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze that right on down in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this other half in here. All right, let's fire up our stove. All right, here we go. We are officially cooking. Go ahead and try to get some of this sausage down here in contact with the pan and start to release some of that grease that's in there. That'll help everything to cook together. I'm also going to use a little bit of this butter here. Just go ahead and throw me a big dollop of that butter in there. A little bit more. I guess we're not going for full-on health food today, right? And that's okay. So this is a pretty simple dish, obviously, to cook. It's just a matter of moving everything around in the pan, making sure everything gets cooked through. I want to make sure I get that sausage plenty done, so I'm trying to keep it in the center a little bit. It's going to take a while to cook these vegetables. That's the part actually that takes the longest, is to get that stuff soft, the apples and the carrots especially. That's why I went ahead and put that stuff in early in the process. So what I'm going to do is let this simmer for a few minutes with the lid on, and we'll come back and take a look at it soon. All right, so again, it's been a few more minutes. Let's take a look and see how our food's coming along. It smells absolutely fabulous. Those vegetables and sweet potatoes and stuff are starting to really get soft. starting to wilt a good bit. And I can imagine these flavors are really starting to mix in good. Man, the smell is just fabulous. So I'm gonna go ahead and add our seasonings in now. And one of the seasonings in the recipe that Tim calls for is cinnamon. And that's one of those ones that might sound a little weird. I'm not going to go too heavy on it, just a touch. And another is paprika. Give it a little zest maybe. So I'm going to add some of that in. And I can always add more of this as I need. He also called for a pinch of salt. Just a little pinch of salt there. We're going to mix that all in good. Let those flavors start to mesh a bit. Oh man, the smell. Whew. I'm going to bring you guys in for a close-up there. That is just delicious looking. At least to me. Alright, I'm going to let that simmer a little bit more. And we'll see what we got in a few minutes. Starting to see some good browning of that sausage down in the bottom, and that tells me we're getting pretty close to being done. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I've lost a good bit of liquid, and so what I'm going to do with this is add just a little bit of water. Put just a little bit more moisture down in the bottom of this, and that way it'll help simmer those vegetables just a little bit more. I think we're really close this time. By the way, do you have a favorite camp recipe that you like to enjoy when you're out in the woods or spending time in camp? If so, go ahead and submit that recipe over to us at the email address listed down below, and that'll get your recipe submitted into our data bank of recipes that I pull from each time I come out to film a new episode of Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. This is a win-win. It's a chance for you to win free Pathfinder outdoor cooking gear, and it's a chance for me to enjoy your favorite recipe right here in the woods. So don't wait, go ahead and send over your favorite recipe to that email address, and hopefully you'll be our next winner for a care package from Reliance Outfitters. All right guys, I think we're really close on this dish. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is just absolutely beautiful. That is just beautiful. This stuff is all cooked down to perfection, and I think it is time to get this stuff out on a plate. I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove off. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes. It's going to be time to eat. I am so excited. It's time for the official meal reveal. Oh man, look at all that spicy sausage, all those delicious veggies, those peppers, sweet potatoes, sweet carrots, all that spice and flavor in there, those sweet apples. You guys know this is going to be a delicious recipe, bursting with all kinds of flavors, and I cannot wait to give it a try. Delicious. Well, I guess I have a perfect seat already built in right here on the mule. Might as well make use of it. My food's cooled off so that I can comfortably hold the plate, so it's time to eat. But of course, anytime I'm going to be enjoying a delicious meal out here in the woods, I'm going to take just a minute to give thanks. All right, well, nothing left now but to give this the taste test. Here we go. Smells delicious. You can smell the sweet potato, of course. You can smell that cinnamon. I knew I was gonna like this, but I like it more even than I thought I was going to. This stuff is so good. There's so much going on with the flavor, I don't even know what to say. And I mean that in the best way. It's just full of flavor. I can taste a little bit of the butter in there, as I put a lot of butter. The sweetness of the apples and that sage coming through from that sausage. By the way, that's a really good sausage. The one that says sage on it, the Jimmy Dean with the sage, has a really good flavor. This stuff is absolutely fabulous. This is, without a doubt, a do-again recipe. I'm a big fan. The sweet potato and the apple just give it that kind of fall flavor. This would be a fantastic recipe in the fall if you were in a hunting camp and you just wanted something that was kind of spicy, warm your body up from the inside, a hot meal with some spice to it. This would definitely do it. And a lot of times I talk to you guys about how good the recipe is, and then I turn the camera off and then I eat and I come back. But you can see I've almost cleaned my whole plate here, and I hadn't even given you guys a bite. And I don't know that I want to give a bite away. All right, let's give you guys a bite. Here you go. There's some apple there. Get you some of that sausage. Green peppers in there. Here you go. All that flavor. Man, this stuff is good. And there's not a doubt in my mind that I will absolutely cook this again. So, for what it's worth, highly recommend. And of course, once again, a big thank you to Tim for sharing this recipe with me. Because Tim, I am definitely enjoying this one, and it will definitely go into my repertoire of things to cook when I'm out in camp. Look at that. Clean plate already. Going back for seconds. I could eat this whole pan full of stuff. So good. All right, well, that was a delicious meal, and I really enjoyed that recipe. If you guys didn't hear me say it 20 other times. And I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at this one as well. I hope you'll get a chance to give it a try. Get out here in the woods and do some cooking for yourself. There's nothing like being out in God's creation out here and just cooking up a delicious meal, breathing the fresh air. It's just something therapeutic about it, and I look forward to it every time. I hope if you guys you'll submit your favorite camp recipe to that email address listed down below. I'd love to see your recipe come through and have the opportunity to try your favorite camp food out here in the woods. And I'd love for you to receive a free care package from Self-Reliance Outfitters with some awesome Pathfinder cooking gear in it. So if you guys have not subscribed to the Self-Reliance Outfitters YouTube channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It's free, and we would appreciate you coming back to see more episodes of our show. And if you'd just like to see more from me personally, check out my personal YouTube channel, Black Hat Bushcraft, here on YouTube, and I'd be honored if you take a look. Tons of outdoor content there, from camp cooking to camping, overnighters, survival, bushcraft, pretty much anything to do in the outdoors, even fishing. There's something there for you, so go over and check it out. Thank you guys for all your interest, all your support from all of us at Self-Reliance Outfitters. We appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you again on another episode of the show, Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. And until then, you guys take care and be safe. Can't forget my camera.